Ik ja yoxatini ltakat Johan kan chish wuchin khasati ya do we hila hini yuto asago at hastu yukatangitin Phoenix aya ye khatyati kaya ko awe hila river shukat ko hasta ani kuk khatyati ya wish kana khutu da at ya shi deheni shukat ko ya ha ani dakh ach gwall nasginach o han llingit gwall dech deg hina cha chusatín súsach peach cha nupeach cha atna ya ha ani dach ya che hasiatí. Ye awe sit ga sanat cha awe wutúcha chusatín gwall dech chusatí. Clegh at wasús lí clegh at chad uchu. Gwall at chuchatín cha at chunchatíní cha chusatín cha a daat tuchwatang. Gwall at cygwa cwch at wydyd o cwch o adiect. Nasg ga chacage we eich eich yan yan quadlachage gwall taig cesga gwacha we eil hini dach ai. Dys iewe ach tunda tani at jo eil carllingit chatsati. Siad deheni at the we hintak.ádi. Ja, hast du chanch aya chucha Ja, hat ago ka hanse. Si deheni llingit da we has awas qewan, ka has awas a tegen. Ka atlein at da we has awsaku awe ada. A chad, naq, chatl. Awe ha at chair sati we hintak.ádi. Awe adati tuchwatang. Wasa has to kachai kutudzati. Awe ya acho atsu we ak kanada hinich ye has ye dakati. Awe we skashni gadati jachan ye jitunetse kustin naq. Ya aya kesh atlein hin kuste. Dusyeig ging chynachwe whug. Nes yall the katach dug a ka chwallen na. Cellach toashgu ach dug whugu. Ye awe ya hintak.ádi. Cech de hin awe we Yéil. Yach toasagu ye in kachlenegi. Cech de hin aya Yéil. Awa ach aya we adatki tai tin awa. Ash has kaudli yet. Wooch jeet aya hasawa chich ka hasawa shad. Has de chak aya wugut Yéil. Ka yach ausik it aya we tai. Aka we awa ach we chatl astechi. Has su has yet the nuts tai team. Nach yudu asago at chatl yawadlak team. Yawdu yet you yendu lak we chatl nach team. Ka has yet the nuts. Ya Yéil chynachwedi twasagu. Ade away the two ye ti a chal Kudzideno ye ausene. Ye hini our shot. Gwell skisa yachyati. Ke our ach. Eka atayide wugud. Hintak.ádi awe wugud Yéil. Ausatin ya chart wuduzet hier ade wugud. Yeltekatasu nahu odach aya awacha. Yach ausakit awe wetai. Ye awe keshasawas kuwasat wune. Ke hasawa yikawe hastu nahu. Keshdasa hastu denuk. Ako a keshdasa adach. Keshdasa adach ute. Ya hastu nahu. A awe wasandu sak. Ats judutzenuku. Katratsewa oktesa. Yayati atisai. Ats judutzenuku. Ka. Goshkiwi. Dukhandu gataite de shikon. Away we take our shot. Yéil. Gosh. Kodache na se de hle. Katitoasagu dunahu dachawe awa cha we tai. Ka ke awa yik. Dukle awa kech. Ishan Yéil. A kawa ak ke awa yik gwallidzi. Naskinach ka ko al de katastullatsini tin. Ke has awa yik Yéil. Ke outle, kinde outle ken. Uwa yawe tai. Wasa do sak. Hit kach yi. Ye awa. Uhana ya kinde atilkaini. Utuzatin hit kach yi. Yadayach wuti aya. Yéil de wakshiyik. We ya kutayit a. Qone awa tsech hasu yagu. Atayit. Ta kondachewe hasakawa ak. Kinde hasawa yiki. Ishan. Dullo aya. Ach has ausa yik. Aka hasu yagu yik dewe wujachin. Adati has kaukla at. Dasakshawe. Hechosaku shakuti at. Janelde aya gachtu kuch an. Hast du neeli aya has wukuch. Yéil. Wasa du tuwu. Wasa tulle ishan. We hini adachawe wugud. As da lluni tin awe yislo aya awllayich. Kalla chut a tsach hido sago at. Kalla gwalliadayach. Kalla chut a tsach hido sago at. Ye awe. Du llwy uwaya. Aqaqone awe we qahiti. We qahat kakhroya kawa gwall. Hete shudu watan. Hasaqewus yisitin aqaqone tluwu. Dullo awe jan ko aho awe ye uwasa. Taik. Ita hiti kana aq. Jaguta. An iqayak hit ku'a. Kawa aq. Taik an qaq hiti. Kash iqayak. An dagige. Kuch. Yisitini ke qonetlu. Ya qeati. Tuagesigi yisitini. Ye awa hastu hiti ke uti. Kwashna dark ka. Adaye uti khwaj. Yéil ausitin. Ha. Klesh kaudake. Aqa awe. Ach awatan. Dullo. Du yak awe ye awatak. Shudda takaya dullo. Kende awa yak. Kende wudakin. We dan wulsi tu nach. ويقو كيهس وإيق قيل ييل أقاوي أدخ ودقين قشوي ييل قاء إتوانك إدات وجقق يستين تلك دين أوي أو جاق دخل أجوي تلك دهين دو ياغ أوي ودتزيق دخل يا أوي خسكو وشكلنيك يا إيل هيني قدقها آيا ييس هيني تسوش يا دهيني أتقوتتي هلت شوغو أقايا داشلي أو خوستين كلياقوتان أستي تواسقو داتيو خختتاني أدي يا هسا كاوخا أتكاوخاش يا هستو إن كخوني واسا أتبوني تلك خسكو دققا خاتي أدا جان خواجيگو جنگي خسكو خات دا أجوي هستو إن يخختتان أدا يا خسكو قلت شيشا خيدي سآخي أدوسا دو تواسكو hintak.ádi خيوتاني قوكي قوها خدشا وكوخ ياغ دلها خو أخ وكي يخيتاني Like Wooch اتخوختانك والدير شماسك hintak.ádi دا
the Héen achuniaya Dusyeig. They went crabbing agawe ya chad ya na yawadlak.
Ik قلت شيش تساو شاتل ناق يوهانسو قوشداتيو كيشكت دا
Kataya. Chat skalnigi ach jiwu. Ach kune Teresa Lockram you do a sock. Where awa sha. Where chat ka shawade. Idat achajun. Chasatin ach ja. Where chat. Yak ye at da you tasla at kidat. Where chat. Wooch geis chan. Ye ane kat na where chat. Ach ayich inasti. Ach ka. Ishak sage. Ah. Ach chat. Ich zachan kunach. Ach ayich inasti. Teresa Lockram. I chat kusachan shkalnigi. Uchawe gunashish.
قلت شيش كيش كشنيك كيخا أدسا تسو شاتل داتيو خكوتان Welki in konach dak kakwanik when nach da dich at agut atlu teen aya wuditla yech chagoe with the lechen kaya yidatse ya akina ayi chai a taid a koa sucks ya awech aghago has to tow saguan chai sucks aka away gwellisa ku ayanach yidalli at away sucks Aqin yadalli chai. Chai kach away kauduach ako. Dasa away chat would the deqi would the deqi Gwell just chagudach the sego at Aqa away yada we what's that do sago at we barb kathatse what's that do sago ya guksa yada ka akina has to twasagu has to gush a 2 day ya awe has to twasagu yada ya konachlagi chat chayeguging yexagenki chat has ausaku was I yeklagi has to ausaguan awe tik aya kaududze tik aqa away ya hasitwasagu tan tu te kunach away kwatiachyati atunach away akaw tuch aqawe wooch tunach away we tik yadakli atawe tan tu te yata hintak.ádi yekwati we nach ko gwell caich cachrús gwell deich cachrús a chani gynnal cheese. Iach aya just okay wuti gwell se kuwe chat chonachowe hintak aya has to toa sagu. Dach has to walk kinde an al Aqawe hasaguch satin dasa akakadu wach ak kandu tu yekwati aqa awe ya hastu yagu yekt hasa yaw denak aqa awe hastu nahu in yu has kawatanen chagu kagu in chikachta gut iguaya khwan aqa aqade ya hastu qase hastu qahini aqa awe hasawle aqa konachwe hintak.ádi has cawdli aqa awe we tik konach yati at a cook away we each quee gwalgiwi do sago at chat quee ye awe kadu chogan we tatsi plain uwa qa atwul lahash gwal chat ade awe has awa ye has shwuddit ik aqa awe Lidzi we nach hast du tlakok konachwe lidzi aya has I segu a joel de katjech aya ye has ausane wudutzitin we kwe yata yache wuti ye awechan has a kawani kwal tek a kanach tli has wuti kone konach wudechet we chat aqa awe kende has awe yik ade dulliech we nach Kinder tuchen away has ausene aqa du da aya du da kaudaqat aqa awe ade has yawatlaq ya pilchish daqa satsu hintak.ádi chakutate cuisine dasa
Okay. Sorry. Mm. Mhm. Mm.
Yahasaku.
Mhm.
Yuhakitanake.
Um,
Adu sadu twasaku guk.
mm, mm, God. Mm,
Again, Yiski Yadi Kwashe Dutra Tak Wuduzitin.
Yakeha. Keat. Adusa Keat. Dati Hakwatan.
And At Sawadan Kwan Yakyit Kit Has Wutusitin.
mm,
And on that one, so I looked up Saudan Kwan on the map, but what I was actually trying to convey was Tracy Arm,
Oh, yake.
which is more specific than the whole area. So is there a specific word for Tracy Arm?
Nakakakwashi.
And so yeah, so I didn't really convey it well in the sentence, but well, maybe I did a little bit, but yeah, we were in the boat on the way down Tracy Arm, and we had just gotten in the mouth of Tracy Arm when the guide finished telling us that now that we were in Tracy Arm, we would not see any killer whales. And he no more than stopped saying that when an entire pod like popped up and entertained us for like a good hour.
Sit kude aya wutu kuch. Aka awe we. Ha. Yahashakuti ka. Ha ina kawani. Ya sit kuch we. Adeya kuchu. Tashiegach yisatin. Tashiegach yisatin. Tashiegach yisatin. Keat. Yak. Chute awe ye ya waka. Chayukaya. Ya. Ya hasya nagwing. We keat. Ha. Aka awe tlekak ak anak awe. Ya. Kasaku. Ya hasu. In wututitini. Ade awe. Hasku nuguya. Yake?
Gracias.
Yakeha. Keat the daat yuchatangige.
Era adhwasiku hilka lingat anikach hejin jinkat 1,000 keat kudziti. Dachte hin has hunsa lingat kuu has kukin.
Ashia the Héen. Yake, cheese.
Jagut Jagunayere Keat Hot Salish Sikh kudziti, ka chas, hat, kas aha, ka tliake, yis, keet, tukanehi, kudziti.
Usk. Kalchish.
Twasagu Wooch daat kolcha Wenushi ligat Wooch atlun Wooch du twasagu nis auhai Wooch good when nis wuge
Okay. Kalchish. Klein. Wooch daatake yuchagachila Johan. Wooch daat ku'u yuch. Ago kago hasa sitwasagu Wooch dugu aya hasa yawatlaki. Ya click the hinawe we Yéil. The kako a yawatlak. Yukisku kek you a sako the kak. A itach away wasak andu tu ye wuti yukisku kek. Singit ane awa a shawlik it an kasaku awa wagao. Yéil ko de tla aus a neich. Uch gacho awa tuk. A dugu a dik a kak away awa lit. Litai teen. Awa chash. Wishdache aus a ne. Katu tla away. Ya awa shakawa ja. Ate. A tude nagu. Agat uch gach husati du tla. Yéil cho ach. Konach kindeo dekin. Chats tude yawa gitch du tla. A chayash with the tool. Chash with the gek. Goe aye wutien. Wanani sawe kone kewe. Kajak she kat kakaskid. Kajak she kat kakaskid de. Yinde outlaqain ausatin kaja. De katawe. Wujakak. Wuzakit. De kataya wuzakit. Konachoy de tuasagu wul sai. Du dicht ko awa ach. Ate outlaqain. Ya doa. Wooch. Ha. Wasa ya kawu. Ya hintak kat ake. Yan qid. Yan qid laq. Hintak kat aya yan qid laq. Lleo ake ayeti. Lleo aya ayeti. Ach jit ka kwach lleo. Ach ya kawu. Wooch konach. Yinde wuk ag. Kinde keo. Kinde wasatach. Aya tu jiu. Yéil du jita wa kwach. An aya singadani out liech. Wa Yéil. Wooch teen. Du tuga yan out liech. Singadani. Du jie wutien. Aka de ki de awashit. Anushik ati out liech wega. Ya wakan chish. Tsukake. Chaguta tega. The cut way tatin, which in your gachtulan.
What's cut aya?
Ah,
Ow, dot you what a ton. Uh Yadich hatwisiti wegao. Ach ish owe as ow dujiwa wait aka ye awa u aka owe ways ow uh hat hat de wugut. Atskani ye yasaka we kaya gajet ek chod chodli sin owe huj galchish.
okay. Cheese. Our Dutch galnigi. Okay. Our data gay gachtulat. Risa an kaya ye hawutian. Culture camp baya yakwahi. Has to talk sagu at haka away wutu kuch. Wasa out to a lock. Chat. Chet. Oh, hintak you do a sago at tetatoashku. Just sue hinta de away to sanuk. Ka tsig at ka tsao. We kainach kaha in husati. We kainach shawat tsao. Tsao idach aya a kaut lechait. Kainach ka. Adachaya a kit lechait. Shuko at Klesach toashko adacha a kit lechaitli. Yisitinge helwasaka gwati. Du hu owe a kawa shuk. Aka awe a kawa akwe tsao awa shati. We tsao du jin awa tsik. Ah! Hatkoa. Hachkwa. Tsukage. Chagutat. Koskone aya gendetluk. We yao. Sheet kak. Aya haya we chwasatin. Koskone aya. We tlingit chusi. Yis tak o ya yidat shukwa a yandritluch we yao. Click the hin away seat kuk a yechat wutien. We eshkech yeti yak klein yikt. We yak klein yiktach awe chwagud. Jach to us a good at chwagud seat kuk. Aka aus satin. Dasak shawe. We hin chukach. Kelsiu dakus tan. Yaltakat we hin kwa yatayach. Haskach waus da. Kachat ja yidu a sak. Kachat ja we yao. Has to cool yatayach yeo sani. Joy a kunach siu dakus tan. Hin chukach like we yao. Yewe has to kusti. Kanachoe hasatina chayati. Yat altakat we shingit. A joy has to kach aya. Chukach tu llagao. Ya ach a haani. Hasi to us the good at the cut has away has our home. Gwell ya go a keat that away you go to at. Hast su chitty dana yago. Chitty dana ka yago over has our satin. an hasju de gut. Die awa adat yu tuchwatang. Wasad ka gwaneha an kuk. Wooch yach kut dal hatuasagu. Acho a just dan a ka. Has shinagukt. A joy a atina chaya titsu ya ha yukatangi. Just the kata diak kwahe kukutsati. Weig. Gaat. Tsach. Yak. God. Just the cut at. A joy just the cut at the jich to tea at ya awune. Wasa has to woo nik ya ha jago kaku. What has ausatin. The cut at the ini kuu. Ha ani kaya has wutien. Yewe wan kanin zadati tachotank nech. Wasa at kukune. Wasa hakwati. At jawe. Yedach sego at kach aya. Katugakan. Kaya yidatse. Yewe aktuasagu. Hetwasa hakwati. Hetwasa hakwati. Yaha anika. At jawe datiuch achtatan. Milchish. Wasa yi tuuchi ayidat.
Dasawe yak.
Muscles.
Uh,
Yak.
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 Yak atsa we kachat jahit shitkak yewuti yewutin jas gwell nazk nazk ka kachat jahit city kachat jahit hastinaka hidi yayidat jas nazk ka kicks adi
Naski nach. Das naski nach akutziti. Jahit yidach kuu. Jagut yede zu yurak gitan. Ye awa aktuasagu has to hiti aya. Has ausanir. Yet the katanaka hitki. Ya gwash. Kone aya yesanahih. Llingit naka hitki. Ajoe shia dehene llingit. Hatuwu kenaniku. Walha hiti aya litzin. Uhan hatuwu ke guchlitzin. Ye awe. Yeah, okay. Should we reflect on all that? Anything that you wanted to ask about or figure out how to say, workshops and stuff?
I have a question. This just occurred to me because I was trying to figure out how to say like how to use like north south in relation to a place, like north of somewhere, south of somewhere, because I know how to say like I'm going south or I'm going north, that kind of thing, but yeah.
Well, you could say I would probably say like let's say ich kide shqaqoidach, heading south from Skagway. Or you could say ich ki ayashqaqoidach, it's south from Skagway. So I think that's how you sort of put something into a certain spot. Because it's north of south from somewhere. And then there's quite a few place names where if something is north of something, like there will be Naki, and there's a place called, I think, Nakikit-āku and Ikikit-āku. So if there's sometimes you have like these two little ponds, and one's called, and they're right next to the ocean. And so one is called the Northern Killer Whale Pond and the Southern Killer Whale Pond. And so that stuff happens with place names. Oops.
I had a question. I'm not sure that I've created my sentence correctly. I wanted to say without the sea otters, and I came up with Yachboot. Or boot. That's how to say that.
Yeah, boot is without.
Okay.
Yeah. I walked out of my house without my keys. Or every time we go to lunch, ha, achdana da keti quta hiti yidachwagud. I left without my wallet. Oldest trick in the book, I guess. Other thoughts, questions, reflections?
On my sentence, when they were talking about going alongside the mother, in one part I saw where it said to use rock, and in another it said to use keek. And I probably butchered those really badly, so I was going to write them in the chat so you'd know what I was talking about.
You could say a hunt, but you could say a kick. And it depends. A hunk would be like beside, and a kick would be like they're touching each other, I think. 2-1 is another, like, I don't know what the difference is between hun and 2-1. I would probably like, and then when one of them is going, you could say yanas ain or yawza'a. But when they're in a pod, it's ya yadnagwain or ya yawdagu.
Yeah, well, the story was way too much. It's actually a new baby alert. A
Ooh.
little bundle of joy was spotted yesterday among the TO46B family of Big's killer whales, traveling alongside 14-year-old Sedna. At certain angles, we could clearly see fetal folds indicating that the baby is quite new. If the baby is confirmed by researchers, this will be her first known calf.
Oh.
Welcome to the world, little one. Live long and prosper.
Okay.
So yeah, how would you translate live long and prosper?
Well, I think I don't know if you could command someone to live a long time. So I think you'd end up with ʼatudli.átk ikusti ka ke iguchlanach. I hope that you live a long time and are very wealthy and are wealthy. I guess that's the prosper part, right? ʼatudli. So ʼatudli is a nice way to say like I'm wishing or I hope. And then yik wa yat ikusti. Oops.
Could you use a hortative just to say, let it be that you live long?
Yik koyat kukakisti. Or I guess kukakisti. Maybe. Still, it sounds a little too bossy in my opinion, though. I don't know. But I guess if you're like, "Grr," but it's also like kind of a wish, I guess. Like going into raven talking mode.
Ane.
Huh.
Cacha weisgarni gag. At elch Dísi gag yayidat. We kute ek winnet gaganawe. Next winnet itdach it nachawe sidakusitan ka itdachawe. Ayoditi Achawe Chataya Ye Hwa'u Ga Yao Sagu Kudads Shitkadach Wanani Sawe Gauk Juni Awe Gorachish.
Yao Yadutluchni, Stakatiete Wakute. When the herring are spawning, the weather goes all kinds of ways. Yao Konachwuke. The only suggestion I might make is Audagon instead of Kakan. Gushtihin Keujulitzak. Juan Coade Twasakuye Watani Cook.
What's to do with sao it weighs so and so much?
Jin cut away a dashi.
Okay.
Number
Could I say something
it's
like
dashi.
wait on
1,000.
Caucasian 100 pounds.
No, you don't have to say pounds. You just say like let's say the way David Katzig said it was 1,000 away a dashi.
That
Okay.
one, it's different if it's a living thing or a non-living thing, right?
Well, you could say chadash, it's heavy, and yadash, it's heavy, but a dashi is the noun form of its weight.
Oh, it's weight. Okay.
Would there be a kun in there like for a kunsa ikatagu, like the count of?
You could say kunsa adashi. How much does it weigh?
But sheesh, that'll be useful for some of these animal sentences.
Oh, okay. Kunsa adashi tsegedi. Achosako. Jinkatke. Klekage. We're just going to force those Canadians. You guys use pounds? You okay? Anything else? Other thoughts, questions? That was good. That was fun. Great job. Like, you just got to go for it, and just like think of. So it makes sense though, right? It boils at 100. Well, okay, here's the silliest thing okay, here's just a silly thing. It doesn't have to be the silliest. I was working on a project and we had this ruler. We had this measuring tape. Sorry, it was a long measuring tape. And we had to measure the width of the river because we're doing all this work on a polluted river. So we were cleaning up the river. And when I looked at this thing, it was from the USGS. And we were measuring things in tenths of a foot. And I said, what are we doing? And I found out, according to the person I was working with, that the United States had voted to move to the metric system during the Reagan administration. And it was going to make a lot of sense because everything's in sets of tens. Hello. And I think the president vetoed it because it got to stick with the America system. And but to meet them halfway, he let them, or maybe ordered them, to use tenths of a foot. So we would measure things and then convert tenths into twelfths so that we could get it into inches, and then we would convert it into metric so that we could measure things easier. So that was just the most American way I think you could do things. Seems like that measuring device should have its own theme song.
Are you sure that wasn't a military operation? Because that really sounds like a military operation.
Yeah, I feel like there should be like piccolos and stuff that are playing when you're measuring things. Yes, it's very wild. Anyways. Okay. So I think it's time to go back. Okay, so if I just stopped doing these streets, said, tell me everything I need to know to use a perfective verb, could you tell it to me? What are the rules of the perfective verb?
Oh, sorry.
Isn't that one that's already happened?
I would say, okay, so for the perfective, yes, it is something that has already happened. But I would say when we say perfective, we're saying, let's talk about whether or not it has happened. Yes. The only tricky part is there are some verbs that are perfective. Like you say, chwasaku, and you say chwasatin. You cannot really say chasaku and chasatin. Like there has to be the perfective form there. But if I want to like learn how to put a perfective together, what's my set of rules?
If it's no conjugation, then it's long and low. And if it's all others, it's short and high. Or do I have that backwards? Have it
Push to
backwards.
save them. Just switch them around. But yes, okay. So for stem variation, all closed stems that are null or zero conjugation must be short and high. Everything else is long and low. Great. What about open? What if it's open though? Then what?
Same rule, isn't it?
Close. But the first one's got to change. All open zeros are
long and high.
yeah, long and high. Everything else long and low. There's your stem variation taken care of, right? Open, long and high, zeros. Long and high or short and high, when they're open and closed. Everything else is long and low. Got it. Na, ka, ka, always long and low. Always, always, always. There's only two other things we got to know.
The perfective, it has the y.
Yeah, yep, it has perfective marker. There's only one thing left to know. Got it all.
Plus I classifier.
Boom! We could perfective any verb in the world. Now. So let's practice some. Okay. Starting with one that just takes an object. Oh, wait, no, we've done these ones. Hold on. Let's catch us up to where we were. Okay. So now with that information, when you could look at any theme in the world. All right, so look at this theme. So it's going to be ch. It's a zero verb. So it's going to be chech, all the way through. But then we put w in front of it. Wooch. All of that follows every single rule we just talked about. So this is extremely predictable. We did this one already. Is maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So now we're going to go through and change this blue one right here. So how would I say, and so when we do this chart, here is the theme. If you look up here, this is your answer key, is your hint, shows you it affirms the stuff that we should know. The perfective marker is there. It's a plus I classifier. It is short and high because it's a zero verb that's closed. Okay. So how would I say you are dirty? Yeah, away. And if you're an inland speaker, they are a singular, they are dirty. Or it. We are dirty. But so just like this turned w to just w, that's going to happen again. If you're inland,
Does the inland take off the W at the end? Or is that a type?
it should not. Thank you. Y'all are dirty.
Ye wooshly check.
But that w has to just go to a single W now. You or yim. This one should also be a ham. Okay. So we can see here an easily recognizable pattern. If the object pronoun ends with a vowel, it's going to cause that contraction right here. Ew. So we go ilche, hauche, yiuche, imche, hamche, yimche. They all are dirty.
So can you go over how to pronounce it without the W, or sorry, without the U?
Yeah. So instead of yi wushechech, it's yushechech. Yushe. And this is a part that does this is something that just takes practice sometimes. A lot of times like ilchsetin. I just catch a lot of people want to say ichwasatin or so it's like so sometimes that vowel just has to go away. And so here,
So would this be one of those cases where you might mush the two of them together and then kind of attach the W to the ye?
yeah,
then-
yeah. So we do that
So
for
like
the I,
she.
but we wouldn't write this as one word.
Right. I'm just saying when you're speaking it,
Yes,
you kind of
100%.
mush it together, and then that W would attach because it's easier to say how the instead of
Yes. So yes,
yeah.
it goes ew,
Okay.
how, you. Yes, 100%. They just run right into each other. Ew shechech, how shechech, you shechech. Okay.
Good sheesh.
They all are dirty. It's just like this with a hus in front of it.
Yeah. Haswushijek.
Haswushijek. Yeah, away. People are dirty. We're going to use k. The guideline here is you use k unless there's a whether verb or if there's already a k on the verb. Then you'll use ka.
So, kushlichek.
Yeah, away. Hushlichek or humshlichek. Okay, that's all. So this is a perfective. Let's see. So when we do the negative perfective, right? And we're going to practice a bunch of positives and negatives. There's a couple of things with the negative perfective is now it's going to have both of these markers, but they're going to run into each other. Anya nachtla?
Sorry. What determines k versus d? Is it like object subject?
Yes, 100%. The object can only be k or ka. The subject can only be d. Okay. So when we look at the negative, there's a couple of things that change. You now have two conjugation prefixes, but that part doesn't matter because they just blend together. They are both there, but they always just blend together. The biggest thing is that you now have a -I classifier, which means if the perfective or arealis marker touches the classifier sa, sh, or sh, it will knock the letter A right out of it. That's why you go from ausiku to kesh awasku. It has to go that way. You should not be saying kesh ausiku. So ausiku, kesh awasku. And so this is something that I do a whole bunch of these verb entries in the dictionary. So I'm retyping the Tlingit verb dictionary. And as I do that, I'm finding a whole bunch of verbs that haven't been put into the verb database yet. And so those are going into the dictionary I'm working on. And then I'll just type them all out. Awasku, or whatever the thing is. What was the last one? Ausana. They dampened it. Kesh awusna. They didn't dampen it. So the stem variation here is a little different. So what you have is open and fading actually follow the same rules. And so I got to update this. I should just put open and fading. I'll put them both in there because they both follow the same rule. And you can see it here. So the 0 will be short and high. That's why you say tesh awas k right there. Everything else will be long and low. Tesh awacha. They didn't need it. All right. Tesh chwata. I didn't sleep. Right. And so we get into these patterns of 0 and everything else an awful lot in Tlingit. For I'm just gonna say hi. Okay. So for here, all closed, they all want to be long and low. But if the theme marks it high, it can't go low. Okay, so this one has fewer rules, but it does present an exception. That exception also exists for the perfective. So for the perfective, if it's g conjugation, like you could say kutwugut, that should be long and low, and it is. But another g conjugation is awashat, but shot does not go low. Any questions about that? All these charts will be up there for you to look at. When you use the conjugator, all of this information is on every single one of those conjugation pages. Like when you go through, it shows you the stem variation up in the top. And after a while, you will commit this stuff to memory. I say, okay, yeah, that's right. It's not conjugation. It's got to be low. So here's all your possible prefixes. And so, for example, didn't eat it. Techwacha or techwacha, techwutucha, techyicha, techyicha, techawucha, techwuducha. And if you want to say, I didn't sew last night. I didn't sew anything. There was no sewing involved. Techwadecha, because it's another zero. Techwutudecha, techyidecha, techyidecha, techwudecha, techwudecha, techwuducha. Ooh, that's close. Don't know. Techwasaka, techwatusaka, techyisaka, techyisaka, techawaska, techwuduska. It's unknown. Let's see. This would be a plus D. I didn't. Well, no, I don't. I guess I didn't. To see the self. Keshchwastin. Keshchwatustin. Keshistin. Keshistin. Right? So like, but the key here is like you can move any verb through these, right? Didn't watch it. Keshwashatin. Keshwashatin. Keshwatushatin. Keshishatin. Keshvishatin. Keshawushtin. Keshwudushtin. So the key here is always, always, always learning how to build a prefix, predicting what the stem will be. Like when it comes to using tlingit verbs, the simple statement is that is what you were doing. I learned to build prefixes. I predict the stem. If you could do that, and I do think it's a pretty manufactured process at first, but then it does naturalize over time because you keep looking at these charts, you keep looking at the conjugator, and after a while, you're going to get tired of it. Like, I just want to just say the thing, and then you will. So if you throw any thematic prefix on there, it's going to change it, but it's still completely predictable. Let's see. Didn't try. Keshkachwa-ak. Keshkautu-ak. Keshkayi-ak. Keshkayi-ak. Keshkawa-ak. Or Keshakawa-ak. Keshkaudu-ak. And I could change the single change. I go from ak to dlak. Didn't succeed. But this would change from ka to ya. But watch, it's going to be the same. Keshyachwatlak. Keshyaututlak. Keshyayidlak. Keshyayidlak. Keshayawatlak. Keshyadutlak. So sometimes you're doing like single, like but you could substitute things in there. Didn't open the door. Keshheteshechwatan. Keshheteshaututan. Or shututan. Ooh, okay, shu. Okay, anyways. But this is showing you all of the, like, when you throw a thematic prefix on there, it will change, but it is still predictable. These are the things that will delete the letter A from these three classifiers, sa, shla, and sha. Those are the only three that will drop their letter because of these things. Athematic, and so this is Why you say chashatin, ishatin, yishatin, ashtin. That is how it must go, right? To say I'm watching it, you're watching it, y'all are watching it, they are watching it. It goes to ashtin. You can't say ashatin. Like the language will not allow that. Irialis, awaska, same thing. Na conjugation. So you say ya anasquain, right? That's how it has to go. Qa, only if it's uncontracted. It has to be full on qa. So you'll say, so you're saying qa, sha, shot, to command someone to grab something. And it has to be qashat, because that qa knocks that letter A out of there. Perfective marker, daqa, and du. Back in action. Okay. So we're getting all the rules for the negative here. So we see it's the same verb theme. This theme has not changed. All the same information is there, but it gives you everything you need to predict this verb. Looking up here in our cheat code up here, we're going to have klesh. We're going to have an object. There's going to be and y, always in that order. Sha, but sometimes I think it might get, okay, because there's no subject here. This is getting knocked out every time. So you should expect whoosh every time. This should be long and low, but because it's ejective at the end, there's no low version. So I expect whoosh all the way down. I am not dirty. You can say it defiantly if you want to. Tesh chat whoosh. There's our pattern. We will be changing the pronoun all the way down, the object. You're not dirty. So remember we had ilsha. You're not going to get that same contraction now. You should get iwush. That's what I would predict. Can't have an M here either.
Guess it would help if I unmuted before I said that instead of
Okay.
afterwards.
Well, that was just your practice round. Good job. Good job both times. They aren't dirty. There's no pronoun at all.
The whoosh tweak click.
We're not dirty. Keep it long. Keep it long. Y'all aren't dirty. These will all be whoosh, all of them. They all are not dirty. People aren't dirty. It's going to be qu, followed by wa, followed by sh.
Guess
Yeah, away. You just knocked out a negative perfective. Fabulous. So going through, let's go back to the positive. Now we've got an object and a subject. Okay, so now the object's going to stay it. You could say ich, but that's I don't know if I hope you're talking to your food, but that's still a weird thing to say. Ich kunst. I don't know why I'd say that. I mean, you could, but in this case, for our example, this will follow all the rules. These are great rule followers. There's an object, there's a subject, S classifier, E, 0. So that's an open 0. I expect it to be long and high, and look at that, it is. That's S, so it's going to be S classifier. Look at that, there it is. So you do have object, perfective, subject. So the other thing we keep in mind with this, that's a 0 object all the way down, except for this one. That's got to be a. And this one, that's got to be a. So, sort of going back, like one of the things we could do is we roll way back here and we go chwase watusse, yisse, yise, ause wadudze. It should follow that exactly. So you can use these charts, whether it's this chart or the conjugator, but you can also learn to do this yourself and to revisit the perfective. There's the 0. Hua, watua, yi or iya, yi, wu or uwa, awa, wadua. Okay. But then there's everything else. So, like thinking of these ones here from this C category all the way to the right. If you look at all of these, there is a single consonant change. Chwadde, chwase, chwadze, chwashe, chwadle, chwashe, chwadje. So if you know the classifier, you can switch that single letter and the rest is always the same. And so it's a very manageable set. I mean, there's a lot of things there. I'm not going to say there's not. But coming back to cooking, if we know that that's going to be a long, high stem, everything is given to us right here. So now I assume that you have memorized all of that. So we have 4 minutes to conjugate this. How do I say I cooked it?
Wasi.
Hosei, you cooked it.
Isai,
Yisei, they cooked it. You have to have a starting it.
Ausei,
Ausei or sei. We cooked it.
Otusei,
Tosei, y'all cooked it.
Yisai,
Yisei. Do not lose track in your Tlingit language journey of this second Y. Yisei, it does that little wobble thing. Yisei. If you're from Tessin, you can say ying sei, and then you won't forget it because it adds this whole other sound. They all cooked it.
Has ausei.
Yeah, has sei, has sei. It was cooked. Is that slang? It's gotta be slang.
Dudzi,
We're dudzi, bro. There we go. Look, 20 minutes. We just did full on 3 complete conjugations of verbs. Maybe 4. And so, like, next comes, and so, well, there's the negative of this, but like going through these things and just sort of mechanically changing them. What you'll find is you will reach a point where you could look at any theme, right? So, like, oh, let's just say if I opened the the themes book. And I just selected a random page.
Why is this one? Why is this? It was cooked. Use duh.
That's the fourth person.
Oh wait. Oh, I see the subject.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yep.
Sorry.
So just in terms of how we conjugate that, you can say people cooked it too. But so if we go in this book of themes, and you could say, I've never even used this to annoy someone by compelling them. Oh wait, no, that's not that one. I think that one's got problems. Hold on. Oops, that one's got problems. Uh-oh. This one I want to go find. Okay, I want one with the object and the subject. This one is a 0. So if you want to cook something on a stick, say, I just cooked my food. Now I'm going to go make my s'mores, my marshmallow. And then, so now you see this. And so you could say, so let's say this is 0. So we should expect this, khoshekis, yishekis, awshekis, wutushekis, yishekis, has awshekis, wututlikis. Like, so you could do that. So you go through and you could take a look at these. And someday when this document is not full of errors, you'll be able to, and so look at this one. It's nah, but you know what? This little thing up here, don't worry about stem variation. We got you, homie. All you got to worry about now is the prefix. Chwahain, watuahain, Yehain, Yehain, Awahain, Hasawahain, Waduahain. Right? So like you can learn how to do that, but we'll keep practicing. We'll keep going back to this, running through it, and yeah. Thoughts or questions before we go?
Reminder that I'm having my verb study thing tomorrow, and I've been looking at perfective recently. So everybody come play with me tomorrow at 9 o'clock
Yay, gonna cheese.
p.m.
Yeah, okay. We'll get back into Taanáx. I know we're doing a little bit of a different speaker and speech, Taanáx, who's wonderful. But that was just coming up for air and dealing with the wonderful welcome speech, or I guess it's like a speech of thankful, gratitude. We'll get back into Taanáx because it's such a good story. So that'll be Wednesday. I'll still be here. So those of you who feel free to go to the classroom, but also I won't be in the classroom next week. Well, I will. Wait, hold on. I'll be there on Monday next week, but not on Wednesday. I don't know what's going on anymore at all. Gusu chane. Chane tesh awaska. Just okay ati. Where's Chane? He don't know. He's just gonna be there. Okay. Sheesh Klein.
Kashish.
Sheesh.
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 Kashish.